Hi, Book 2. Welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie, and it's time for another bookish update. So as you can see, I'm in a different location. I thought I would try something different, since it's a nice day out, and this is really the only time I get to be outside. We can't leave the house, go to the store, unless it's a necessity. And then, I go to, I work at a grocery store, so that's the only other time is when I go to work. I thought I would film outside just for the fun of it. And the good news, where I'm sitting, I'm on my front porch. It's not too bright. The downside is my dogs will want to come out too. But the good news, we have one of those electric fences, so they can't leave the yard. And some people I know might think, and possibly some people might think that's harsh, but it's better than them getting hit by a car. So, as you can see from my thumbnail, and hopefully it's long enough that will show up as a fun thumbnail choice when I upload this, I am reading The Merciful Crow now. I just finished Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Ibanez. I still don't know how to say the correct pronunciation. That was really great. I enjoyed that. I can understand some people saying, there were some reviews that said there was a little sense of predictability to it. But, it's a YA, and unfortunately, people aren't wrong with the criticisms they give YA books. Some of the things they say, that they can be predictable, that they have a lot of tropes that people get tired of seeing. And there were a couple in that one that did bug me, there's always the tyrant king who's so horrible, and, I know they need an antagonist, but it would be kind of nice to see a king that's not as bad, or is not, feels, one-dimensional. Although they do give him a sob story, there's a hint of one. That, I think he lost his love. His sister says that he lost his love during the war, so it made him bitter and angry. Which, okay, fine. And I personally believe that everybody has a sob story. Everybody has a reason they are the way they are. Way back when I was watching Once Upon a Time, I remember my friends complaining about how, why does every villain on Once Upon a Time have to have a sob story, and blah, 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 which I understand that. I agree to an extent. At the same time, it's everybody has a sob. No one is born a villain. That was one of the mantras of the show, is that evil isn't born, it's made. So everyone who becomes a bad guy, there's a reason they are a bad guy. Even if it's something like the world trying to survive in the world that they live in. They had to be, cold and ruthless. That's still a reason. I fully disagree that no one's just evil for the sake of being evil. A villain like that is kind of boring. And like I said, even in the Woven in Moonlight, the bad guy had a reason. He had a sob story. And I also was thinking about, it would be kind of nice to see a female protagonist that isn't feisty and has a temper and can kick butt and fight back, when it's all tough and that's one of the reasons probably why I like Belle so much, even though I admit that at one point during season 2 when I was still watching the show Once Upon a Time, part of me kind of hoped that she would kick some ass every once in a while. And I've had fan fiction ideas where she does learn to kick ass and that she's really powerful and stuff. So I still love that idea. But I also want more heroines, more stories about female protagonists that aren't kick butt types. So they're more into peace and, not that in Woven in Moonlight she wasn't into peace, but she was also feisty and could kick some butt and all that, and she was a rebel, and, I would like to see one that was a little more, not, she's incapable of kicking butt and stuff like that, and isn't feisty, and is a little more, vulnerable, and, not in I have to be strong and resist the urge to fall in love. I don't mean vulnerable in that way, but I mean vulnerable as in, like more, like, I guess sometimes more girly girl, or like just more, like I said, not so feisty, not kick butt all the time, like passive. That's the word I'm looking for. Passive. I want a female protagonist that's more passive. It'd be just kind of nice every once in a while. And I mean, I think there are some. Like, I think, I sometimes wonder if at least in I just thought I've never read the series, but I've heard a lot about it, The Winter's Curse. I'm thinking that I got the impression that she starts out as a passive character. That's why people are bothered by her having a sword, because of course it's like she isn't like, from what I've heard, she's not like that. She's not a fighter. She's not a warrior. She didn't even want to be that. Because I'm just going by what I heard, so I don't know. I've never read the series before. And then there was another duology I was thinking about, but I could not remember the name of it. I think it's based on Arabian Nights a little bit, but it's a duology. And I can picture the cover in my head. It's like a reddish pinkish color with jewels on it, I think, diamonds or something. I mean, I've never taken a good look. And then there's also, she also has, and then the cover for the sequel is blue, I think. It's gonna pop in my head after I film this video, or if anything, I'll probably look it up on Goodreads or something. Or, although it doesn't help that I only know what the covers look like. But anyway, as far as the Merciful Crow, we're at the first 4 chapters. So I'm on page 38. I was hoping to use a different bookmark. I was hoping to actually use the bookmark that I used for Woven in Moonlight, but then the little dangly thing came off of it. It's one of those ones with the little clasp and you have to push at it to be able to slip it through the metal. And I don't know if it's because of my dexterity, I have dexterity issues, or if it's just, and it's hard for anybody, but my fingers are fat. A little fat, and at least when it comes to that anyway. And, and then when I get frustrated, I'm very vocal about it. I get really annoyed and just kind of, when I'm frustrated about something that I can't do. Okay, so back to the Merciful Crow. So in this, as I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this, and I've talked about this before, you have all these different in this world you have all these caste systems, and they're all named after birds, like the people. See, there's actually has a map too. That's cool. I like that there's, and that this is another, and I think I talked about this already, that it has something on there, but in the light, when it's really bright, you can't see the stupid symbol. I feel like they need to make it like I said, I feel like they should make it like a reddish-orange color instead of blending in with the cover of the color of the naked hardback. Make it stand out more, people. But no, they're too lazy to do that. So, I'm looking, there is a glossary or an index in here. Okay, so you have the Phoenixes, which I think they're the ones in charge. You have the Crows, who are the main characters in the story. They're the lowest caste system. And all these different caste systems, except for the Crows, have their own birthright. I like the caste system. I think it's really cool. I like it. I'm definitely more interested in this one than the caste is what they had in Girls of Paper and Fire. I think it's Paper and Fire. Because that one I got from the library and I just didn't finish it. Of course, it could have been bad timing, but I mean, there were aspects of that one that was kind of cool, but anyway. So, there's this plague that's been going on for like hundreds of years in this world, and the Crows are not affected by it. So, of course, all the Phoenixes basically make the Crows get blamed for it. And I think they also taken the dead as well. They deal with the dead and stuff. And our main character is Fee, and she's the daughter of the chief of the crows, and she is a chief in training. And they are given these two bodies that they find out to be part of the royal caste system, the Phoenix caste system. It turns out not only they are part of it, but they are the prince and his bodyguard. But it turns out that they ended up faking their own deaths with pig's blood, and they asked the crows, Fee and her father and their friends, for help. Because his stepmom, the Swan Queen, has summoned the what are they called? Let me see if it says it should be. Let's see. What are they called? Well, here's what's the whole name? The Oleander gentry. They have called them, and I guess they're ruthless, especially towards the crows. And so the Prince Justimere and his guard trying to make a deal with Fee and her family, and of course she's not having it. She's like, well, how can we trust you? And she wants him to make a blood oath that the Oleander gentry will never come after them. Will never come after the crows, and the crows will be protected by the hawks, the bodyguards of this world, which is what the prince's bodyguard obviously is, a hawk. So far, it's really good. Like I said, I like the cast system. I think it's really interesting. The idea of being represented by all the different caste systems, being represented by birds. Oh, it's too bad that the bad guys are the phoenixes, kind of, like, as of right now. Because I like phoenixes, they're cool. But it makes sense because phoenixes have healing powers, and they can carry a lot of weight. I don't know what else they are capable of. So there is that. And then, of course, I'm still reading Black Powder War, which they are traveling through Temeraire and Lawrence, and their crew are traveling, some of their crew, like Granby and them, are traveling through this desert, and, of course, it's the desert, so it's hot. The only time it's cool is at night, and Temeraire has to eat camels, and he doesn't like camel meat. And I think they just got approached by their guy had disappeared at some point, and it turns out he lured them to these people to, like, help them or something. I don't know. I'm still kind of confused. But it doesn't help that I'm only reading this during my breaks at work. So I think I'm going to read a little bit more at some point today. Just so I can figure out exactly what's going on. And I hope I get the 4th book for Christmas. I mean, not Christmas, my birthday. My birthday's coming up. So, I've tried to, the good news on my Amazon wish list, I can do, like, high and highest and lowest priority. Like, I can put a priority on certain books. So, which is nice, but although my mom or my friends or my sister or whoever doesn't see which one is which priority is each one, then they won't know. This is such a fun series so far. I'm really enjoying it. And it's an easy read. I mean, I like the writing style. I mean, it's not that hard. You know, it's like a little close to that classic writing style, but also a little more modern at the same time. Like at first that seems like written like a Dickens novel, but then it, you know, as you read it, you realize it's not. I don't know. I'm just talking here. I don't know. So I have now read for the Owls Readathon. I've read the one for potions prompt, the potions class prompt, which is the shrinking solution. So I'll read a book 50 pages or 150 pages or under. So that was the graphic novel, the War of Jokes and Riddles, which I really don't know how accurate that is. But there's no page numbers on graphic novels apparently, which is really a bit annoying, especially if you want to update. So that's one. And then God's Grave, which is the sequel to Nevernight by J. Kristoff. So that is for the Charms prompt, which is read a book with white on the cover. And I'm glad I got that one. I finally finished that one. It's nice to say I read it. And then I just gotta get Dark Dawn, which is the third book. And then the Woven in Moonlight, which fits the prompt, the Care Magical Creatures prompt, which is the beak on the cover. Read a book with a beak on the cover. Okay, let me do this instead. I like this better. It's a little easier. It's less awkward. So that's 3 books. And now I'm working on the herbology prompt, which also can apply to one of the seminars. I don't remember which one. I don't know if it's the dragon one. Oh, I think it's the mer people one. Like, which I figured magical creatures. Yeah, I'll go ahead and read a book based for that. I go ahead because, you know, I might have to interact magical zoologists. Not, you know, I don't know. I was debating about that one, if I want to include that one. Although I'm reading the herbology prompt no matter what, because they're not technically animals. The mer people. They're not actually animals, but they are magical creatures. And I figured it would be helpful to know that language, to know Murish. I think that's what it's called. Although I'm still a little confused. Do I need to, like, for the prompt, if I'm doing the seminars for those prompts, do I need to read a separate book that applies to the prompt? I don't know, but for right now I'm not going to do that because that would be too much, and there would be no way I would pass. Which, I know this is for fun and everything, so it doesn't matter, but it would be kind of nice to actually read all the books. Like, pass. But that's the herbology prompt is read a book starting with the title with the M. That's the Merciful Crow because usually you don't count the. So, because like every title goes by hi Rascal. Every title has the in it usually. I mean, not every title, but a lot of titles have the, so it doesn't really count. Like if you're alphabetizing something. So ooh, I can take that off. Let's see. No. Of course, no. I could have counted this one also for it. For the. Oh, you really can't see the beaks on these birds. So, which is why, like, why I decided to use Woven Moonlight for that prompt, for the Magic Creatures prompt. Because there's a beak on there. You can actually see the beak. There's birds on there, so you can actually see them. Well, this one, you can't really see the beaks. I mean, you know they're there because all birds have beaks. But you can't see them, so. But it works for the M prompt. the Mimbus Mimbletonia. And then, of course, this goes for the Dragon Seminar, because I figure I had a better chance of finishing this book than Priory of the Orange Tree, which I haven't even started getting back into yet. But I need to start that. And I'm already thinking about my May TBR. Like, I think I'm going to use, like, read classics and stuff. Maybe a few I can't not read fantasy, so I'll probably, like, read some fantasy. Probably Priory of the Orange Tree, actually. And then I'm also going to read The Exiled Queen, which I don't have that with me. It's upstairs. And then I'm going to read The Forgotten Garden. But The Exiled Queen counts for the History and Magic prompt, which I don't technically have to do. But that is the whole fine. Read a book with witches and wizards in it, and that one has wizards in it. That whole Seven Realms series. I mean, in fact, the wizards are the bad guys, or they're seen as bad guys, or just very controlling and powerful. And then The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton is, and that's the Cinda Williams. The Exiled Queen is Cinda Williams by Cinda Williams-Chima. It's the second book in the Seven Realms series. And then, like I said, The Forgotten Garden applies to a book set on the coast. So it's the Cornish coast, actually. So I figured that would apply to the Defense Against the Dark Arts prompt, which is Grindylow. Read a book on the coast or in the water, or it has to do with the water. So I picked that one for that. Although that one's going to take me a long time, and these are kind of the important, this one, the first three I mentioned and this one are the important ones, the ones I actually need to get done. I'm kind of curious what's going to happen with what the newts prompts are. Because it sounded like someone was saying that they were recommending, they wanted to read all the books for each of the classes, because if they didn't, then they would have to read three more books for the other ones, and then the newts. So I don't know how it works. So, like I said, this is my first year doing this, and of course, I'm not going to pay attention if I'm not planning to do it. So now I am planning to do it. I have been doing it, so I will be paying attention to how the newts actually work. What I should probably consider doing is looking at last year's video on the newts, just to get an idea of how it works. I might do that today. Oh, crap. So it's almost 2 o'clock. Time goes by fast. I just said on days that you're off, when days that I'm working, it feels like it takes forever before my shift is over. But then when you're on the days that I'm off, I'm just hanging out around the house and doing some reading, maybe cleaning my room a little if I need to, go for my run, stuff like that. The day goes by so fast. And I usually like to go for my run between 3 and 5. Like, I might go at 3 or close to 4, or at 4 to go for my run, and then I come back and take a shower and all that. But I spend most of the morning doing my reading, and then there's 3 hours or 2 hours and 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon where I have afternoon times. I want to get eat a lunch, which I'm going to do after I finish filming. Probably just leave my laptop down here and just have it on while I'm eating. So anyway, okay, so that is what's going on with. That is what's going. So this is what I'm reading right now for the Readathon. And then, like I said, I'm going to read The Forgotten Garden and The Exiled Queen as well. The problem is the Exiled Queen is not going to go by as fast, because Cinda Williams-Chima's chapters are long, which is a little bit annoying, because I kind of prefer shorter chapters. I don't mind long chapters, I'm not going to, but it does irritate me when the chapters are long. Especially if it's a YA book, because I want to get, I'm used to reading YA books really quickly. So if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, click subscribe. If you haven't already, I won't be able to really do this outside. I mean, I could, but, you know, it's the dogs and everything, and I could only really do it probably, well, I don't know, because, I mean, I don't know, maybe I could do this again, I don't, you know, but I want to do it when I'm alone in the house, but then again, I have to worry about the dogs at the same time. I think I'm going to have to go get Rascal after this and make sure he comes in, because he's barking at everybody now. But, I don't know if my parents, and then of course during the summer, I'm not going to want to be outside as much because all the bugs and stuff. But it is nice, and it's in enough room, and I have, like, I have my laptop on this, on a coffee table. So it works. So I could do this again, you know. So, anyway, like I said, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and click the bell notification below when you see when I post new videos. And I will talk to you later. Alright, bye!